Welcome to the 2022 Spring Commencement for Milwaukee Area Technical College. I am Nadine Deas, a candidate for graduation from the Cardiovascular Technology Echocardiography Associate's Degree Program. Please turn your attention to the arena floor area. Now entering and carrying the MATC mace, faculty member, Local 212 Executive Vice President, and Grand Marshal, Kevin Mulvena. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the candidates for graduation now entering the arena. Ladies and gentlemen, now entering the arena, MATC's distinguished faculty and staff members. Ladies and gentlemen, now entering the arena, the distinguished commencement platform party, MATC deans, members of the President's Council, district board members, our student commencement speaker, Kelsey Casey, our outstanding adult high school graduate, Anna Marie Forner, our keynote speaker, Mayor Cavalier Johnson, and MATC President, Dr. Vicki J. Martin.
In the past, usually what we do is we carry these out with us. I'm not sure if they're going to have us doing it out there. We're doing it right here? Wait, the fuck do we need my suit for? Jesus Christ.
Dr. Martin, the candidates are assembled.
Welcome to Milwaukee Area Technical College's 2022 Spring Commencement. I am Dr. Vicki J. Martin, the proud president of MATC. Today, we recognize our candidates for graduation who are gathered here, those graduating in absentia, and a student we recognized posthumously. To all graduates, we are here to celebrate you. I know each of you has lived through and persevered amid challenges few of us could have envisioned just 2.5 years ago. Many of you, like me, are the first person in your family to attend and graduate from college. And like 90% of our students, most of you achieved this milestone while balancing job responsibilities. Many of you juggled classes while caring for children, siblings, or other family members. Many of you may have had financial or technology challenges. As Michelle Obama reminds us, you should never view your challenges as a disadvantage. Instead, it's important that your experience facing and overcoming adversity is actually one of your biggest advantages. Overcoming challenges leads to greater resilience in life, which leads to more risk-taking, better relationships, and ultimately to a better life, according to psychologist Robert Brooks. We want you to have successful and better lives because of what you have overcome and accomplished. Overcoming challenges and recognizing them as an advantage might resonate with many of you. Coming to MATC may have meant traveling from class to work, to home, to a child's school, and back to class again. In other words, you stay focused on achieving your dreams. You made the decision that education was worth the struggles, worth the challenges, worth the sacrifices. Now you're here celebrating with hundreds of your classmates. And so I want you to pause, think about every hurdle you leapt over to be here, every barrier you tore down, every time you thought about giving up but didn't. Those choices and those actions brought you here today, and they will bring you across the stage in a few moments. And when that happens, and when I confer your degrees and diplomas, you will have officially earned a credential that tells you, tells employers, and tells four-year universities that you are ready to start on day one. When you take that next step, please stay connected to us. Join the MATC Alumni Network and share your accomplishments. I want to thank each of you for choosing MATC, your instructors, advisors, coaches, tutors, and more who helped you succeed, your classmates, and any family and friends you have with you today. All of us are proud of what you achieved and are excited to hear what you'll do next. Congratulations on all that you have accomplished. We wish you the best in your future endeavors. Now, in accordance with custom and tradition, I hereby declare the Spring 2022 Commencement for Milwaukee Area Technical College open. Please stand for the national anthem sung by the MATC Music Occupations Vocal Ensemble.
Shed his grace on thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Stay here.
Please join me in thanking the music occupations, students, alumni, and faculty for their outstanding performance this morning. I'm Dr. Mohammed Dakwar, MATC's Vice President of Learning. This graduating class includes more than 1,300 associate degree, technical diploma, apprenticeship, and adult high school diploma candidates. We're also recognizing 33 candidates for graduation who have served our country in the U.S. military. These veterans received a red, white, and blue cord from the college. Thank you all for serving our country. We'll be proud to call you alumni and owe you our sincere gratitude. At our commencement ceremonies, we hear from a student who can impart the wisdom that only a peer can provide to fellow students. This spring, the student is Kelsey Casey. Kelsey aims to earn her PhD and work with seniors on their mental health needs. She chose MATC for an affordable, high-quality, 2-year liberal arts degree to start her on her higher education journey. She's been on the Vice President's and the President's list for academic achievements. While studying at MATC, she has maintained 3 jobs: one as a student worker, one as a waitress at a local restaurant, and one as an assistant coach for a local high school soccer team. In 2021, Kelsey became the first woman to play on MATC's men's soccer team. Yes. In the community, she volunteered with Voces de la Frontera. One of her supervisors, as a student worker, shared that there is no doubt in my mind that Kelsey is the very best I've ever had or worked with. An instructor shared that even when Kelsey had a solid grade, she willingly revised her work to improve her skills. This fall, she will be transferring with a 2-year degree from MATC to the University of Missouri. In reflecting on her time at MATC, Kelsey wrote, "I constantly had faculty and staff members willing to stand by me through any academic or life opportunities and challenges I faced, and I'm so thankful for that." We are thankful for you, Kelsey, and look forward to the insights you will share with your fellow graduates. Please welcome Kelsey Casey.
Thank you, Dr. Dakwar, for the warm introduction. And good morning to you all, Dr. Martin, the district board, our honored guests and speakers, family, friends, and of course, my fellow graduates. My name is Kelsey Casey, and I'm graduating right now. See, Cap. And you all are too, and this is an amazing achievement. So I'd like to start off this morning with a round of applause for you all. This is actually the first time that I am officially graduating. I chose not to walk back at my high school graduation in 2020. So this, me being up here speaking to you this morning, it's kind of a big leap. However, I didn't get selected to come up here and speak entirely about myself. Instead, I would like to take some time to retell some inspiring interactions I had with other students. Both years I was enrolled in classes at MATC, I had the opportunity to work in the Office of Student Life, taking photos for and printing out student IDs. I guarantee I've printed out at least one of your IDs and probably helped over half of you with parking problems. Many times I had people emotional over receiving their first college ID. They would tell me they had people telling them that they wouldn't last in college or that they didn't support them going back to school. Being able to help people materialize their dreams in the form of an ID card helped me realize that what I was doing, staying at MATC, was the right thing, and I thank those students for that. And I hope that they're all still going strong with their academics today, or maybe, and I really hope, that one of those students is you, sitting here with us in your cap and gown. If that was one of you, I want to let you know that if through all of your amazing achievements, you had nobody to tell you that they're proud of you, that I am. I am proud of every single student that I'm looking at right now. You may be the students that were fresh out of high school, the students who didn't find the right fit at a four-year institution, the students who are also single mothers and fathers working every day to support their families, the students who are international that came to America to better their education. This is an extremely diverse of graduates, and I'm honored that I get to be speaking to you today. Now it's time for thank yous, to thank those of us who got us all here today. I would like to start this off with all of us graduates giving those who were there for us a round of applause. You may be family, friends, instructors, or staff, but without the support of you guys, we all would not be here today. And of course, I have my own thank yous. I can't look up there because if I look at her, I'm gonna cry, but I'd like to start off with my beautiful mother, Ricky. Thank you for raising me to always prove those around me wrong. And thank you for being the most inspirational female figure in my life. Thank you to my dad, Randy, for guiding me down the path throughout my education. Without your guidance, I don't know if I would be here today. Thank you to my siblings, Nicholas, Christian, and Rose, for understanding the time commitment I had to put towards my schooling. And I'm sorry for all the times my homework got in between us playing board games together. I promise that later today we can play a round of Trouble together. Thank you to my MATC family, Miss Felix, Amanda, Otis, Eric, Wesley, Anne-Marie, and Erica. Thank you all for constantly letting me know how proud you were of my achievements. And thank you for pushing me to be better, not just in the classroom, but in life as well. Thank you. Thank you to the athletics department for allowing and giving me the opportunity to make history here at the institution by being the first woman to partake in a men's sport. You gave me the resources to help me break the molds of what is possible. And of course, an overall thank you to MATC. Thanks to you, I was able to stay living at home, continue working my high school job waitressing, and most of all, I was able to receive a quality education. Thanks to the help of so many different instructors and advisors, I was able to graduate with a high enough GPA to receive an academic scholarship to the University of Missouri in the fall of 2022 to pursue my psychology degree. Thank you to MATC for giving me a chance to feel like I fit in, for giving me a reason to be at our graduation today. Graduates, today is the day that you have been worrying about in the past, worrying about if you'll make it to today or how you'll make it, but you don't have to worry anymore. After today, you can go out and take a confident step into the future that you always dreamed for yourself. And with that, I wish to leave you all today with the words of Canadian-American actress Mary Pickford. If you have made mistakes, there is always another chance for you. You may have a fresh start at any moment you choose, for this thing we call failure is not the falling down, but the staying down. Congratulations, everybody, on your big day.
Thank you, Kelsey, for sharing your words and your pride for your fellow graduates with us. Now, we're grateful to have a keynote speaker who will share his life experiences and advice at this important milestone on the journey of our lives. Mayor Cavalier Johnson was recently elected the 45th Chief Executive of the City of Milwaukee and is its first Black elected mayor. Let's give him a round of applause. A Milwaukee native and graduate of Milwaukee Public Schools, Bayview High School, Mayor Johnson's commitment to public service began at an early age. One selected by the YMCA for a pre-college program for MPS students from lower-income families. The mayor notes that he has experienced violence, evictions, and food insecurity, and brings that lived experience to his work. He graduated from the University of Wisconsin-Madison with a bachelor's degree in political science and came back to his hometown to work for our partners at what's now is Employ Milwaukee. There, Mayor Johnson worked with youth entering the workforce and adults scaling up to enter the workforce, all populations we all serve here at MATC. He later worked in the mayor's office and was elected alderman for the 2nd District. His peers elected him Common Council President, paving the way for him to become acting mayor in 21 prior to his election this spring. Mayor Johnson lives on Milwaukee's north side with his wife and twin daughters, and we are honored to have him with us today. Welcome, Mayor Johnson.
Well, good morning, everybody. I said good morning. This is a graduation for Milwaukee Area Technical College. I said good morning, everybody. That's more like it. First of all, let me give another round of applause. I hope you all will join with me to Kelsey Casey, who spoke so eloquently about her experience here at MATC, and I think that's a reflection of what many of you have done here at MATC. So Kelsey, a round of applause to you. And I know you're going to Missouri soon, but my request from you is to bring your talents back here to Milwaukee when you're done. That goes for all of you as well. So thank you so much again for inviting me here to your graduation ceremony today. I've been watching on the big screen up here and seeing your smiles, seeing the pride that members of your family have, and looking at all of those things that make this ceremony so impressive. Graduates, this is what success looks like. This is what achievement looks like. The glory of today belongs to each and every single one of you. You have studied, you've learned, you've passed the tests, you have accomplished. What we're recognizing you here today for is an attainment that nobody can ever take away from any one of you. Nobody can do that. And as was alluded to earlier by Dr. Martin, for many of you, in fact, I would presume most of you, the path to graduation was not a simple one. Some of you have overcome hurdles, challenges, obstacles, and some of those hurdles have kept others from reaching this same milestone, this same success that all of you sitting here on the floor of Fiserv Forum are experiencing here today. My own story may not be all that different from yours. I was raised right here in Milwaukee, in some of the neighborhoods with the deepest challenges that exist in our city. My family moved frequently. We were far from wealthy. Crime and violence were never all that far away when I was growing up. And most of my early education was spent at a different school each year. I went to 6 different Milwaukee Public Schools elementary schools. What I had around me, though, were people who cared. The folks who are sitting around you in this arena right now, the people that care. That's what I had. That's what all of you have. It was my father that told me early on to get off the block, and at first I took his advice quite literally. I thought he was talking about just, crossing the street, going onto a new or a different block. But he was talking about so much more than that. He's talking about expanding my horizons and seeing and experiencing new things. And I took that advice, and it's taken me all over the country and around the world. I also followed my mother's advice. She gave this example, and that was to never give up, to never quit. If you got something that you're interested in working towards, yes, you will face challenges, trials, and tribulations, but do not quit, even in the face of challenge. Don't give up. I had guidance from people at the YMCA that gave me opportunities and instilled a sense of passion for service. And I was encouraged not to chase dollars, but instead in life to chase purpose. Not to chase dollars, but to chase purpose in life. I had teachers who taught, encouraged, and nurtured me so that I had a foundation and confidence moving forward. I know firsthand how important mentors can be because in my childhood, caring adults helped to guide me to greater achievements in so many different facets. I think about those experiences when I meet young Milwaukee residents, children who look like me when I was that age. I want them to realize what's possible, and I want them, just like all of you, to realize their full potential. I've got a request for all of you assembled today. I want you to become that example. I want you to become that example for your friends and for your family members and those parents out there, for your kids. Reach out, talk about your achievements, and encourage others to follow in your footsteps, to follow in your path. You know, sometimes all a young person needs is an invitation to take a productive path in life. And that's something that each of you can provide, especially on a day like today, especially on the days that follow because of what you've accomplished throughout your time at MATC that's being recognized here today. When I look out at all of you, I see the future. I see Milwaukee's future. You all, or you will be the homeowners, you'll be the parents, you'll be the respected neighbors, you'll be the responsible citizens, the people who care about Milwaukee and where our community is headed. You'll attend community meetings. You'll vote in elections. Maybe, perhaps just maybe, one of you will run for elected office yourself. I may see a mayor of the future sitting out there somewhere. You all are also Milwaukee's future in another respect. You're the economic future of this city. That's because you're prepared. You're prepared for the jobs that Milwaukee companies need to fill. In my visits to major employers, they tell me what a valuable partner this school, this college, MATC, is. This school is a vital link connecting student ambitions with real-life needs that companies right here in our own community have. Your graduation puts you on a path to build wealth, strengthen our neighborhoods, and add to the quality of life in Milwaukee. And your journey follows a great tradition in Milwaukee. Our companies and our economy have always relied heavily on expert workers, people who bring proficiency to their crafts, workers who bring skills to businesses and manufacturers. You're the new generation of talent that will continue this strong reputation in Milwaukee. When I look at all of you, I see something else that is essential, completely essential for Milwaukee's future. That's diversity. It's men, it's women, it's African American, white, Asian, Latino, people who are able-bodied and disabled, folks who are part of the LGBT community. Those of you who came to the shores of this country, came to the United States for a better way of life. You embody all the richness of diversity that we need, not just here, but in our country. That's such a positive impact on communities like this, and we want to see and embrace that sort of diversity. And through the diversity you have encountered here at MATC, you're better equipped to understand Milwaukee's future in a city that is so diverse as it is. We'll be a more inclusive community. We will unlock human potential that past generations unfortunately have worked too hard to restrict. You'll be a part of that work with your lives and in your neighborhoods and in your social interactions. So I'm optimistic about Milwaukee's future, our city's future. Of course, we're wrestling with some significant challenges, but the confidence I have moving forward is extremely high. And looking at you, you make it high. Milwaukee will thrive and will be a stronger economy. And to build that stronger economy, I encourage and I support business growth. I join the efforts to attract new companies here that provide opportunities for you guys to have good family supporting jobs. Notice I did not just say any job, but family supporting one, careers, in fact. I hear what businesses need to grow, and among the top concerns is access to qualified workers. That's where MATC and you come in. The Milwaukee Area Technical College is organizing and delivering workforce readiness. And you, the graduates, are exactly what employers right here in Milwaukee and our economy generally need. So let me conclude with this. Yes, congratulations to each and every single one of you, and more than congratulations, let me offer my sincere appreciation. So thank you. Thank you for investing in yourself. Thank you for being role models for your neighborhoods and for your families and for your kids. And thank you so much for investing in the future of Milwaukee. Congratulations, graduates.
Looking for Kevin here. Thank you, Mayor Johnson. We're grateful for your inspiration words as we celebrate today. I'm joined here by Kevin Movena, instructor, adult high school.
Thank you, Dr. Dakwar. On behalf of the faculty and staff of Milwaukee Area Technical College, we are pleased to call forward MATC's Pathway Deans who will present their candidates.
Then the moment we're all excited for, our associate degree, technical diploma, apprenticeship, and adult high school candidates for graduation. Finally, and most importantly, President Vicki Martin will confer their degrees.
Hello, I am Armin Hajinian, an instructor in the Business and Management Academic and Career Pathway. On behalf of the Dean, faculty, and staff, I am pleased to present the candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science and Technical Diploma. These candidates have met all the requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees and diplomas. Will the candidates from this pathway please rise and remain standing?
Hello, I am Dr. Julie Ashlock, representing the Community and Human Services Academic and Career Pathway. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I am pleased to present the candidates for degree in Associate of Applied Science, Technical Diploma, and Apprenticeship Diploma. These candidates have met all the requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees and diplomas. Will the candidates from this pathway please rise and remain standing?
Hello, I'm Dr. Mike City, Interim Dean of the Creative Arts, Design, and Media and Academic and Career Pathway. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I'm pleased to present the candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science, Technical Diploma, and Apprenticeship Diploma. These candidates have met all the requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees and diplomas. Will the candidates from this pathway please rise and remain standing?
Good morning. I am Dr. Sadiq Isahaku, Dean of the General Education Academic and Career Pathway. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I am pleased to present the candidates for the Associate of Arts, the Associate of Science, the Associate in Applied Science, and Adult High School Diploma. These candidates have met all requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees and diplomas. Will the candidates from this pathway please rise and remain standing?
I am Dr. Eric Goss, Dean of the Healthcare Academic and Career Pathway. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I am pleased to present the candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science, Technical Diploma, and Apprenticeship Diploma. These candidates have met all the requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees and diplomas. Will the candidates from this pathway please rise and remain standing?
I am David Stewart, Director of Apprenticeships and Special Projects in the Manufacturing, Construction, and Transportation Academic and Career Pathway. On behalf of Dean Becky Alsup, the faculty and staff, I am pleased to present the candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science and Technical Diploma. These candidates have met all requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees and diplomas. Will the candidates from this pathway please rise and remain standing?
Good afternoon. I am Dr. Kamala Goodwin, Dean of the STEM Academic and Career Pathway. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I am pleased to present the candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science and Technical Diploma. These candidates have met all the requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees and diplomas. Will the candidates from this pathway please rise and remain standing?
At this time, candidates will be individually recognized and presented with their degrees and diplomas here on stage. After the candidates receive their degree or diploma, they will return to their seats. When all the candidates are reseated, MATC President Dr. Martin will officially confer the degrees and diplomas. Marshals and ushers, please direct the candidates to the stage. The rest of the candidates may be seated.
Sitting down might be a little bit of a drag. So what you want to do? How do you want to go? You just gonna get the cards and say the name. So that's the first program. Yeah, however you do it.
Yes, F-A-H-A-D, Abdul Sahid. It's not kind of hard. You can go Abdul.
Okay.
Abdul Sahid.
Abdul Sahid.
Yeah, Abdul Sahid. You got to pronounce it right here and say Fahad.
Fahad.
Abdul Sahid.
Abdul Sahib.
You got it?
I got it. Fahad Abdul Sahim. Deanne Crawford. Jacqueline Cortez.
Willie Campbell.
Okay. I got it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Willie Campbell. Zoe Seitz. Monique Carson. Abigail Marie Colchin. Takesha Wynn.
Jennifer Dessler.
Jennifer Dessler.
Carissa Martinez.
Carissa Martinez.
Klutchka.
Julie Kletchka. Nancy Abak. Suzanne Sanya. Muda Tu. Thank you. Jessica Spees. Lisa M. Gabor. Rebecca Garcia. Jermaine Alexander, Business Management. Chantel Martinez, Banking and Financial Services. Cody Charlie Yang, Accounting. Kenyatta Davis, Business Management. Leonora Erickson, Business Management. Michaela Nicole Crawford, Supply Chain Management, Scholastic Honors. Ashley Drager, Business Management, Scholastic Honors. Leo Elliott.
I got the same. Don't say my middle name, just Lucia.
Lucia Lopez, Business Management. Victoria Mejia, Business Management. Faith Morlinia, Business Management, Scholastic Honors. Sonia Soha, Business Management, Scholastic Honors. Larissa Dalton Purefoy, Business Management. Keith Lights, Business Management, Scholastic Honors. Jesus Ramirez, Business Management. Kason Fontavisa, Business Management, Scholastic Honors. Ashley Bornemeyer, Human Resources, Scholastic Honors. Diana Miramontes, Accounting Assistant, Business Management. Doreen Katama, Business Management, Scholastic Honors. Kara Limor, Business Management, Scholastic Honor. Amy Curtis, Transportation, Business Management. Mary Chang, Business Management, Accounting. Cindy Lee, Human Resources, Business Management. Connie Shelley, Human Resources. Summer Jordan, Human Resources. Shamia Moody, Human Resources. Elizabeth Ketting, Marketing, Scholastic Honor. Stephanie Theme, Marketing, Scholastic Honors.
Camille Bowens, Medical Billing. Business Management, Scholastic Honors. Ola Sellers, Marketing, Business Management.
Shannon Clark, Medical Administrative Specialist, Business Management. Leslie Murray, Medical Administrative Specialist, Business Management.
Carolyn Word, Medical Administrative Specialist, Business Management. Edward Termini, Business Management, Scholastic Honors. Darnell Dillard? Yes. Darnell Dillard, Business Management, Scholastic Honors.
Christian Santiago.
Christian Santiago, Business Management. Justin Carter, Business Management. How are you pronouncing this, sweetie? Quavacia Alderson, Administrative Professional.
You don't have to say my middle name.
Alexandria Robinson, Accounting.
Oh, you don't have to say my middle name.
Lorena Wilson, Business Management. Yvonne Corinne Cross, Business Management. Laura Vasquez, Accounting, Scholastic Honors. Sierra Barrett, Business Management. Cameron Banks, Business Management.
My last name only, True. Just my last name.
Troop, Business Management. Alexa Aguilar, Accounting, Business Management, Scholastic Honors. Shariva Hasey, Accounting, Business Management, Scholastic Honors. Mikala Yang, Accounting, Business Management. Amy Panta Wang, Accounting, Business Management, Scholastic Honors. Helen Ray, Accounting and Accounting Assistant, Business Management, Scholastic Honors. Maria Chavez Lopez, Bilingual Office Assistant, Business Management. Karina Elizabeth Machoro, Bilingual Office Assistant. Sable Martin, Financial Services, Business Management. Nalihi Sundarajan, Financial Services, Business Management, Scholastic Honors. Evelyn Regalia, Medical Building, Scholastic Honors. Vina Xiong, Special Event Management, Business Management, Scholastic Honors. Mary Nicole Jackson, Supply Management, Scholastic Honors. Megan Nucci-Her, Human Resources, Business Management. Abigail Wilson, Business and Management. Mariella Angeles, Business Management, Scholastic Honors. Melissa Lee, Medical Administrative Specialist. Ricardo Whitehead, Transportation Logistics. Ihor Kasianchik, Real Estate, Scholastic Honors. Shaquila Wilson, Human Resources. Gerald Hill, Business Management. Sonia Golson, Business Management. Lanisha Smith, Special Event Management, Business Management, Scholastic Honors. Arkell Roberson, Real Estate, Scholastic Honors. Kiara Lee, Business Management, Career Option, Scholastic Honors. Rizarta Bakulari, Business Management. Joshua White, Business Management, Scholastic Honors. Josue Ruiz, Business Management, Transfer Option, Scholastic Honors. Dominique Nicole King, Business Management, Career Option. Bryson Khalil Monk, Business Management. Atia Poe, Business Management. Tiffany Bowsby, Business Management. Maria Rodriguez, Human Service Associate, Community and Human Services. Tatiana Williams, Early Childhood Education, Community and Human Services. Irma Ashley Ramsey, Human Service Associate. Wendy Luna, Early Childhood Education. Guadalupe Martinez, Early Childhood Education. Elisa Lewis, Human Service Associate. Marlena Akoff, Early Childhood Education, Community and Human Services, Scholastic Honors. Daniel Adams, Criminal Justice Services. Nolan Radke, Fire Protection Technician, Scholastic Honors. Shartina Holland, Human Service Associate. Claudine Otakoya, Paralegal, Community and Human Services. Gino Canzaneri, Funeral Services. Ava Ray Dewey, Funeral Services, Scholastic Honors. Chad Gavigan, Funeral Services. Katie Gokenauer, Funeral Services. Madeline Grunwald, Funeral Services. Ryan Charles Harder, Funeral Services. Beatrice Jackson, Funeral Services. James Jensen, Funeral Service, Scholastic Honors. Delaney Shea Johnson, Funeral Services, Scholastic Honors. Andrew Pizarski, Funeral Services. Seth Philip Olson, Funeral Services. Bonnie Rayborn, Funeral Services, Scholastic Honors. Kelly Teague, Funeral Services. Nicole Tomasino, Funeral Services.
Alexius Northern, Nail Technician, Community and Human Services. Blanca Barrera, Nail Technician, Community and Human Services. Yuseli Flores, Nail Technician, Community and Human Services. Jer Vang, Nail Technician, Community and Human Services. Brianna Bell, Paralegal, Community and Human Services, Scholastic Honors. Okay. Ryan Larson, Environmental Health and Water Quality Technology, Community and Human Service, Scholastic Honors. Jordan Hadley, Environmental Health and Water Quality Technology, Community and Human Services. Amy Thorgard, Environmental Health and Water Quality Technology, Community and Human Services, Scholastic Honors. Kennedy Arbuckle, Environmental Health and Water Quality Technology, Community and Human Services. Elijah Schmuckel, Environmental Health and Water Quality Technology, Scholastic Honor. Joanna Castillo, Child Care Services. Alexandra Hall, Early Childhood Education. Nicole Henry, Early Childhood Education, Scholastic Honors. Raniju Fitzgerald, Early Childhood Education. My, her, Early Childhood Education. Nikia Jones, Early Child Care Services. Naya Gordon, esthetician. Esthetician. Thank you.
This is pronounced with a Y, so it's Justine. Justine Yankee, esthetician.
I'm Laura Johnson. I don't want the R saying, but everything else. Yeah, and then I'm scholar, so.
Laura Johnson, esthetician, scholastic honors. Shamaya Morris, esthetician. Naomi Dow, esthetician. Naeli Dawood. Romera Ashley, early childhood education. Aaliyah Roberts, esthetician, scholastic honors. Kirsten Hayden, esthetician, scholastic honors. Hey, Robert.
How you doing?
Wonderful. Robert Jones, human service associate. Janari Fain, cosmetology. Miss Darlene Harrell, cosmetology, scholastic honors. Marquasia Lampley, cosmetology, scholastic honors. Lanaya McRae, cosmetology. Alexis, sorry, I wanted you to go real fast. Alexis Hunt, cosmetology, scholastic honors.
Okay, Alexis. It's
Sierra McLaughlin, cosmetology. Sherelle Rayford, cosmetology, scholastic honors.
It's Sharisha. You don't have to read the middle name.
Sharisha Nash Tucker, cosmetology, scholastic honors. Ayana Turner, cosmetology. Mayla Lee, early childhood education. Aisha Jones, early childhood education. Nikila Hennings, early childhood education. Ellen Rodriguez, early childhood education. Joanna Lugo Sanchez, criminal justice studies. Paula Palmer, criminal justice studies. Valencia Nelson, child care services. Belen Sanchez, early childhood education. Hannah Myers Taylor, early childhood education. Octavio Carrera, Criminal Justice Studies. Mackenzie Brown, Criminal Justice Studies, Scholastic Honors. Hannah Gabor, Criminal Justice Studies. Stephen Steele, Criminal Justice Studies. Karina Solis Brozick, Criminal Justice Studies. Kiana Nicole Scott, Criminal Justice Studies. Taylor McDowell, Early Childhood Education. Liana Waika, Paralegal Studies, Scholastic Honors. Crystal Herring, Early Childhood Education. Key Yang, Nail Technician. C. Zong, Esthetician, Scholastic Honors. Carissa Young, Esthetician. Jasmine Adams, Esthetician, Scholastic Honors. Jasmine Bivens, Esthetician.
Yes, Jess! I need my name real loud. Oh, Lord, Jesus. Okay. Esthetician.
Rita Cheser, Esthetician.
Yeah, Rita!
Dior Laurent, Esthetician. Queena Elsie, Esthetician, Scholastic Honors. Tadra Posey, Human Service Associate. Lester Gillett, Human Service Associate.
Hi.
Bella Fulton, Human Service Associate. Kylie Harris, Human Service Associate.
It's kosher, like the pickle.
Taylor Kosher, Human Service Associate.
Monica Hernandez.
Monica Hernandez, Human Service Associate. McAllie Runyon, Human Service Associate, Scholastic Honors. Iris Hernandez, Early Childhood Education. Alyssa Randa Thomas, Esthetician, Scholastic Honors. Mariah Kelly, Esthetician, Scholastic Honors. Quishayla Johnson, Esthetician. Jessica Kurth, Early Childhood Education. Roxanne Murillo, Early Childhood Education. Rosa Reese,
Rosa.
Early Childhood Education.
Uribe.
Antonio Uribe, Early Childhood Education, Bilingual Group. Lazardo Espino, Early Childhood Education.
MATC graduates, as you return to your seat, please be mindful to have a seat until the end of the ceremony, please. Thank you. Deanna Marie Lang, Early Childhood Education. Jessica Rose Perino, Early Childhood Education, Scholastic Honors. Danielle Brower, Early Childhood Education. Karen Marie Aber, Post-Baccalaureate Legal Studies, Paralegal. Maria Melinda Talistiak, Post-Baccalaureate Legal Studies, Paralegal, Scholastic Honors. Jennifer Eileen Kunze, Early Childhood Education, Scholastic Honors. Jason Hawk, Criminal Justice Studies. Alina Conchalern, Cosmetologist Apprentice. Kiana Jackson, Early Childhood Education. Christopher Burridge, Barber Technical Diploma.
All right, Chris. All right, Chris.
David Lloyd Evans, Barber Technical Diploma. Elijah Ferguson, Barber Technical Diploma, Scholastic Honors.
You messed up on mine. I have Scholastic as well.
Michael Golden, Barber Technical Diploma, Scholastic Honors.
That mic right there, I'm sorry.
Let's go one way. Guy. That's my pamphlet, man.
Cedric Guy, Barber Technical Diploma.
Hanrahan.
Anthony Hanrahan, Emergency Medical Technician, Paramedic, Scholastic Honors.
Andrew Hine. Thank you.
Andrew Hine, Emergency Medical Technician, Paramedic, Scholastic Honors. Tawanda Goodman, Human Service Associate. Danielle Desiree Tribble, Human Service Associate. Tamala Ann Montgomery, Human Service Associate. Shakita King, Human Service Associate. Shamika Owens, Criminal Justice Studies. Brett Havleck, Human Service Associate. John Angeli, Emergency Medical Technician, Paramedic. Aurelio Vasquez, Emergency Medical Technician, Paramedic, Scholastic Honors. Claire Bronson Rosenberg, Fire Protection Technician. Devarier Terrell Rogers, Fire Protection Technician. Hanan Scali, Early Childhood Education Bilingual, Scholastic Honors. Evelyn Campos, Paralegal, Scholastic Honors. Ahmad Jamal Anderson Jr., Emergency Medical Technician.
DeAndre, they tried to pronounce it all crazy. I'm about to do my.
DeAndre White, Emergency Medical Technician. Abriana Anderson, Emergency Medical Technician. Tony Blevins, Human Service Associate. Latoya English, Human Service Associate, Scholastic Honors.
They never gave me a task.
Dana Goodman, Early Childhood Education. Sarah Worth, Legal Studies Paralegal.
It's okay. She just needs to go in this order. She gets out of order, that's fine. We don't want to hold the line up. Right.
Thank you.
Bridget Ragland. What's your program, huh?
Early childhood education.
Okay, thank you. Bridget Ragland, Early Childhood Education, Scholastic Honors. Tempest Tarver, Early Childhood Education.
Tamia. Say it again.
Tamia Roberts, Human Service Associate. Tanisha Johnson, Human Service Associate. Carly Knight, Front-End Web Developer, Scholastic Honors. All right. And we are in the Creative Arts and Design with Malcolm Harmon Robinson, Television and Video Production. Quaniqua Williams, Culinary Arts. Jessica Latoria Hunt, Culinary Arts. I'm the one on your list.
Chappelle? Yeah.
Chappelle Unique Parker, Culinary Arts. Stephen A. Jansen, Television and Video Production. Miles James Thompson, TV Video Field Production Assistant. Patricia Shaughnessy Gomez, Television and Video Production. Isela Mayes, Graphic Arts, Creative Arts and Design. Jasmine Miskowski, Interior Design, Scholastic Honors. Selena De Leon, E-Production, Associate Arts. Jamie Stryker, Television and Video Production, Scholastic Honors. Kyle Parker Ahonen, Television and Video Production. Marcus Anthony Gallioni, television and video production.
So it's Blanc, not Blank.
Blanc.
Yep.
Nathan Friedrich Blanc, audio production, Scholastic Honors. Caleb Bowles, audio production. Mitchell Moncada, audio production, Scholastic Honors. Rachel Trampy, graphic arts design. Charlie Maxwell, music occupations. Charlie R. Maxwell, music occupations. Kalina Marissa Jackson, baking production. Cassidy Sharice Cook, graphic design. Nathan Richard Butler, graphic design. Kyle John Melka, television and video production. Gabrielle A. Campbell, audio production, Scholastic Honors. Robin Sharping, graphic design, Scholastic Honors. Simon Kane Eisentrout, animation. Luke Varanth, music occupations, performance, Scholastic Honors. Nicholas J. Mallon, music occupations, Scholastic Honors.
Terry Lee, E-Production. Enrique Aguila, graphic design. Dylan Radford, web and digital media design. Enrique Gutierrez, audio production, Scholastic Honors. Cody Kramer, audio production, Scholastic Honors. Harold Wilgrup, creative art design, Scholastic Honors. Baden Dazzler, audio production. Nicole Masters, baking and pastry art, Scholastic Honor. Maria Graziano, baking and pastry art, Scholastic Honors. Lelania Evans, baking and pastry arts, Scholastic Honors. I am. Watch this. Mr. Gregory Hicks, Human Service Associate, Scholastic Honors. Sarah Oaks, Human Service Associate, Scholastic Honors. Keith Nowicki, audio engineer and audio production. Sean Dale, audio production, Scholastic Honor. Keegan Lipke, graphic design. Tyson Yang, animation 3D emphasis, Scholastic Honors. Uh-oh, headphone. Gabriela Monique Perez, animation, 2D emphasis, scholastic honors. Antonio Santiago, culinary arts.
It's Angela.
Angela Williams, culinary arts, scholastic honors. Aisha James, culinary arts. Hold on a second. Letitia Fowler, culinary arts. Brianne Johnson, interior design. McKenna Dominski, baking and arts pastry. Ashley Fry, animation 2D emphasis. Sonia Chardre, interior design.
It's Mary.
Carly Mayer, interior design.
Nisreen Cleafat.
Nisreen Cleafat, interior design, scholastic honors. Padra Lee, interior design, scholastic honor. Deja Phillips, audio production. Zachary Luke, front-end web developer. Kaya Mooney, baking production, scholastic honor.
So general education starts here? I guess it don't matter, right? Okay.
General education, Dwayne Wallace, Associate of Arts. Zandra Rogers, Associate of Arts, Teacher Education. Yadi Romero, Associate of Arts, Teacher Education. Tracy Wood, Associate of Arts. Sherry Seams, Scholastic Honors, Adult High School. Karen Gutierrez, Associate of Arts. Fatima Hussain, Associate of Arts. Amar Musa, Associate of Science, Chemical Technology. Isabel Reyes, Associate of Art, Global Studies. Demetri Griffin, Individualized Technical Studies, Automated Building Systems. Esperanza Bernal, Adult High School. Adal Tipos, Associate of Arts, Teacher Education. Myri Yang, Associate of Arts. Elizabeth Fabella, Associate of Arts, Scholastic Honors. Mariah Fatla, Individual Studies, Education and Training. Sharar Coleman, Associate of Arts. Gunnar Cosio, Associate of Arts. Emily Diaz, Associate of Arts. Jonathan Vivas, Individual Studies, Health Sciences. Guadalupe Lopez, Individual Tech Studies, Business Management. April Vang, Associate of Arts. Isabel Hernandez, Associate of Arts. Kylie Kuhn Tropentar, Associate of Arts, Scholastic Honors. Jasmine Triggs, Associate of Arts. Ziana Griffin, Associate of Arts, Scholastic Honors. Alyssa Mackis, Associate of Arts. Estefania Gonzalez, Associate of Arts. Dakota Alphin, Associate of Arts, Teacher Education. Madison Raber, Associate of Science, Scholastic Honors. Melissa Draker, Associate of Arts. Raisa Mavuba, Associate of Arts. Nicole Viola Fricky, Associate of Science, Scholastic Honors. Sophia Michael Marie Jones, Associate of Arts, Scholastic Honors. Rebecca Severson, Associate of Arts. Ali Saib Sapri, Associate of Science.
Charming, like Prince Charming.
Charming Vang, Associate of Science. Yayua Lee, Associate of Science. Sharita Hudnall, Individual Tech Studies, Human Services. Tiffany Rodriguez, Associate of Arts. Kayla Eugenic, Associate of Arts. Alyssa Gaddis, Associate of Arts, Teacher Education, Scholastic Honors. Isaiah Avelis, Associate of Arts, Scholastic Honors. Emily Sanchez Clark, Associate of Arts, Teacher Education. Skadisha Walker, Associate of Arts. Anna Fornell, Adult High School, Scholastic Honors. Yes.
Kelsey Casey, Associate of Arts, Scholastic Honors. Chijoke Nwosu, Associate of Science, Scholastic Honors. Chima Wosu, General Education, Associate of Science. Jalen Arkell Scott, Associate of Arts. Cameron Leonard, Associate of Arts, Scholastic Honors. Tajay Weddle, Associate of Arts, Scholastic Honors. William Peter Wagner, Associate of Science. Angelina Herr, Associate of Science, Scholastic Honors. Jamia Williams, Associate of Arts. Deshauna Mitchell, Associate of Arts. Kayla Redmond, Associate of Arts. Nayeli Munoz, Associate of Arts. Taylin Razzo, Associate of Arts, Scholastic Honors. Crystal Jones, Associate of Arts, Scholastic Honors. Cynthia Bowerman, Associate of Arts, Teacher Education. Sharita Beats, Individualized Technical Studies, Health Sciences. Come on now, Sam.
Oh, my bad. I gotta give you the card.
Sam A. Alford, Individualized Tech Studies, Business Management, and Administration. Cole Monty, Associate of Science, Scholastic Honors. Shireen Abu Ahmada, Associate of Arts, General Education. Nuha Mustafa Yassin, Associate of Arts. Michael J. McCutcheon, Associate of Arts, Global Studies. Ross Maurice Abel Jessen McCutcheon, Associate of Arts. Makayan Johnson, Associate of Arts. Carmela Hope Marie Holloway, Associate of Arts. Alexandra Banasic, General Education, Associate of Arts. Billy Clyde Comer, Associate of Arts. Sam Mika L. McNeil, Associate of Arts. Deatrice Moorhead, Individualized Technical Studies, Arts, Visio, Technology, and Dental Technician. Evelyn Brown, Associate of Arts. Rashida Rocket, Associate of Arts, Kyle Thomas Monty, Associate of Arts. Guadalupe Prieto, Associate of Arts. Taylor Ray Bobber, Associate of Science, Scholastic Honors.
You can skip the limit.
Amanda Wagner, Associate of Arts. Crystal Robinson, Individualized Tech Studies, Associate Business Management and Administration. Ozzie Jones, Associate of Arts. Romanique Waters, Adult High School. Marisa Martinez, Phlebotomy. And we're switching to the healthcare pathway. We have Maria Perea, Dental Assistant, Technical Diploma, Bilingual.
Yes, Palomino.
Haiti Palomino, Dental Assistant, Bilingual, Scholastic Honors. Magali Janelli Martin, Dental Associate, Bilingual. Jacinia Marcella Gunke, Dental Associate, Bilingual. Oyuki Flores, Dental Assistant, Bilingual, Scholastic Honors. Martha Cuenta Rivera, Dental Assistant, Bilingual, Scholastic Honors.
Yeah, and I'm bilingual. Did you forget to put it?
Araceli Esperanza, Dental Assistant, Bilingual. Wendy J. Robinson, Medical Laboratory Technician. Cheyenne Foyle, Medical Laboratory Technician. Maggie Proust, Medical Laboratory Technician. Stephanie Kramer, Medical Laboratory Technician, Scholastic Honors. John Marshall McKinney, Medical Laboratory Technician. Billy Joe A. Cranmore, Central Service Technician. Miranda Chapman, Medical Assistant, Scholastic Honors.
Thank you.
Thank you. Michaela Elizabeth Tank, Dental Hygiene, Scholastic Honors. Tressa Turbin, Cardiovascular Technology, Echocardiography, Scholastic Honors. Miriam Mahmoud, Cardiovascular Technology, Echocardiography, Scholastic Honors. Whatever. No, it's not whatever. Nadine Deas, Cardiovascular Technology, Echocardiography. Carly Ray Oswald, Cardiovascular Technology, Echocardiography, Scholastic Honors. Beth Girth, Cardiovascular Technology, Echocardiography, Scholastic Honors. Jennifer J. Tomzak, cardiovascular technology, echocardiography. Syed Ali Gardezi, cardiovascular technology, echocardiography, scholastic honors. Christopher Fredericks, cardiovascular technology, echocardiography, scholastic honors. Murfad Jabber, phlebotomy, scholastic honors. Sarai Martinez, phlebotomy.
Yep. Yep.
Alicia Gorezi Serda, pharmacy technician. Chelsea M. Vanderhill, registered nursing. Thank you. Radhika P. Patel, medical laboratory technician, scholastic honors. Amanda Nunez, practical nursing.
Renee Vanuk Erman, and I do have scholastic honors. They just didn't have me on the list.
Okay, tell me your last name. Renee Vanuk Erman, scholastic honors, medical laboratory technician. Javeria Malik, anesthesia technology, healthcare, scholastic honors. Heather Lee Stundle, anesthesia technology.
It's a lot easier than it looks.
Jessica Hopeful, cardiovascular technology, invasive. Dakota McKee, cardiovascular technology, invasive. Megan Buckholt, cardiovascular technology, invasive, scholastic honors. Brooke Anchando, medical assistant. Mercedes Hall, medical assistant. Somoris Childers, medical assistant, scholastic honors. Amber Wren, medical assistant, scholastic honors. Lily Chancham, medical coding specialist. Flor Hernandez, healthcare services management, scholastic honors. Manufacturing, construction, and transportation. We have Jerome Johnson, preparatory plumbing. Amber Lynn Martin, medical assistant, healthcare, scholastic honors. Are you guys healthcare? Yeah. Okay. Beverly Peterson, medical assistant. Grace Buendia, medical assistant. Dawn McLaughlin, medical assistant. Lavender Hensel, surgical technologist. Jessica Bell, surgical technologist. Danelle Pope, radiography. Megan L. Loeffler, radiography. Andrea C. Warren, radiography. Dave Prisby, radiography. Alyssa Corinne Gifford, radiography, scholastic honors. Andrea L. Chihutsky, radiography. Leah Charlotte Paizo, radiography. Ashley Denzo, radiography. Cynthia Lisbeth Sepulveda, registered nursing, scholastic honors. Wei Ku, medical assistant, scholastic honors. Serpur Lewa, medical assistant, scholastic honors. Latasha Griffin, practical nursing.
Sharita Johnson, Healthcare Services Management. Thomas Lynn, Respiratory Therapy, Scholastic Honors. Veronica Jimenez, Respiratory Therapy. Eduardo Horta, Respiratory Therapy, Scholastic Honors. Rebecca Schmidt, Respiratory Therapy, Scholastic Honors. Nali Zhang, Respiratory Therapy, Marika Van Cleve, Respiratory Therapy, Scholastic Honors. Kamasi McCoy, Respiratory Therapy. Erica Curry, Practical Nursing, Technical Diploma, Scholastic Honors. Shawanda Bazoo, Healthcare Service Management. Trinette Williams, Nutrition and Dietetic Technician. Alexis Caval, Dietetic Technician. Nikita Davis, Nutrition and Dietetic Technician, Scholastic Honors. Anna Krukowska, Dietetic Technician. Maria Magana, Phlebotomy, Scholastic Honors. Rola Perez, Anesthesia Technology, Scholastic Honors. Tori Bankinich, Anesthesia Technology. Nikki Fields, Health Information Technology.
Okay. Tanisha Lynn Patterson, Health Information Technology, Medical Coding, Scholastic Honors. My cousin.
Ivory Gomez, Renal Dialysis Technician, Technical Diploma, Scholastic Honors. Natasha Trejo, Renal Dialysis Technician, Technical Diploma.
Brooke Wilby.
Wow.
Wildy.
Brooke Wildy, Dental Hygiene, Scholastic Honors. Savannah Whitecoon, Dental Hygiene. Chloe Baker, Dental Hygiene.
Madeline Benoit.
Madeline Benoit, Dental Hygiene, Scholastic Honors.
Crisanta Soto Sanchez.
Cristanta Sanchez, Dental Hygiene, Scholastic Honors. Julie Lee Vang, Dental Hygiene. Alejandra Tederones, Dental Hygiene. Amanda Prisbilla, Dental Hygiene. Kayla Perez, Dental Hygiene.
It's Reza. This is not part of my name. It's Reza. Ibrahimi.
Reza Ibrahimi, Dental Hygiene, Scholastic Honors. Haley Freeman, Dental Hygiene. Michelle Myers, Dental Hygiene. Abby Schwab, Dental Hygiene, Scholastic Honors. Luis Cruz, Dental Hygiene, Scholastic Honors. Karen Campos, Dental Hygiene. Quentin Bocek, Dental Hygiene. Tynetha Miles, Respiratory Therapy. Kimberly Schubert, Respiratory Therapy. Adriana Kathleen Jewell, Respiratory Therapy. Emma Schmitz, Respiratory Therapy. Marie Gunther, Respiratory Therapy, Scholastic Honors. Eula Colbert, Medical Laboratory Technician. Elizabeth Lopez, Medical Laboratory Technician.
This is an O. It's Paku.
Paku Tao, Dental Assistant, Technical Diploma. Miley Saavedra, Dental Assistant, Technical Diploma. Jacqueline Saavedra, Dental Assistant, Technical Diploma. Paula Smith, Dental Assistant, Technical Diploma. Vidalia Moore, Dental Assistant, Technical Diploma. Coraya Holbrook, Dental Assistant, Technical Diploma. Rosalina Yurdanova, Dental Assistant, Scholastic Honors. Megan Lucen, Dental Assistant. Alyssa Hovel, Dental Assistant, Scholastic Honors. Marietta Edwards, Practical Nursing. Henrietta Jones, Practical Nursing. Raina Gregory, practical nursing. LaQuanda Hurt, practical nursing, scholastic honors.
Anna Denor.
Anna Denor, registered nursing.
Therese Rabor.
Therese Rabor, practical nursing, RN educational progression. Taj Khalid, pharmacy technician. Brianna Mansfield, pharmacy technician apprentice. Lania Tate, health unit coordinator. Rachel Bynum, practical nursing. Alam Adnan Asham, health unit coordinator, scholastic honor. Emily Perry, health unit coordinator, scholastic honors. Christina Olnichek, practical nursing, RN educational progression. Xiaoxing Li, phlebotomy technical diploma, scholastic honors. Delonda Townsell, practical nursing, RN educational progression. Deslina Smith, registered nursing. Destiny Burrell, registered nursing. Regina Burns, registered nursing. Violetta Avitia, registered nursing. Nicola M. Johnson, registered nursing. Monita Mantia Jacobs, registered nursing. Igli?
Yes, Igli.
Casca.
Casa, yeah.
Ego Casca, registered nursing, scholastic honors.
Just like the continent.
Asia Taylor, registered nursing, scholastic honors.
Maritza Siggy.
Maritza Ziggy, registered nursing. Lexi Chantil, registered nursing.
Can I announce myself?
No. No. Come on over here. Go.
Jerry Williams
Jr., registered nursing.
In the manufacturing, construction, and transportation pathway, in the program of landscape horticulture, MATC presents to Brennan D. Lapp, posthumously awarding his degree to his parents, Bonnie and Russ. Proud to be MATC. Fabiola Oropeza, truck driving. Richard A. Hickles, truck driving, technical diploma. Two, Gia Thor, CNC technician, scholastic honors. Jude Cameron Brobst, electrical power distribution. Woo! Slider? Yep. Lewis N. Slider, electrical power distribution. You going to Ryan?
I'm not. No, I'm not.
Ryan Patoka, electrical power distribution, scholastic honors.
And then it's Haas.
Mark Haas, electrical power distribution, scholastic honors. Jason B. Aldana, power engineering and boiler operator. Adrian Cabrera, carpentry. Laude Hay, carpentry. Pang Her, carpentry. Tahese, carpentry. Colin Smith, carpentry, scholastic honors. Pedro Ruiz, landscape horticulture. Jacob Yang Tao, machine tool operations, scholastic honors. Carlos Montanez Sanchez, diesel and powertrain servicing, scholastic honors. Joel Gorney, preparatory plumbing. Abraham Lopez, diesel and powertrain servicing. Alexis Sanchez, diesel and powertrain servicing.
Can I say it? I'll let you say it, but let me try it. All right, it's up to you. It's Abel Christian Chitis. Chitis? Yeah. Okay. You want to say it? Yeah, I'll say it. Now pronouncing Abel Christian Chitis.
Diesel and powertrain servicing. Marissa Schleicher, welding.
Don't say the middle name. Gotcha.
James Griffith, welding, scholastic honors. Mariana Powell, dental technician, scholastic honors. Dalia Marisol Mejia, dental technician, scholastic honors. Kevin Lopez, automated building systems, scholastic honors. Darius Malone, automated building systems, scholastic honors. Benjamin X. Figueroa, automated building systems, scholastic honors. Anthony J. Adams, automatic building systems, scholastic honors. Jacob M. Schwab, welding, scholastic honors. Adrian Williams, carpentry. Brittany Vulich, carpentry. Caden Jerome Oath, carpentry, scholastic honors.
Oh, it's Jared.
Jarrett Allen Fritch, carpentry. John Joseph Udinate Jr., carpentry, scholastic honors. Tanner Lundy, carpentry, scholastic honors. Peter Garcia, air conditioning and refrigeration technology. Ramon Angiano, air conditioning and refrigeration technology. Charles Nigro, air conditioning and refrigeration technology. Terry N. Davis, welding. Quanta Luang, air conditioning and refrigeration technology. Eliza Dawn Embry, air conditioning and refrigeration technology, scholastic honors. Andrew Gonzalez, refrigeration, air conditioning, and heating service technician. Anthony Vincent Pereno, refrigeration, air conditioning, and heating service technology. Jonathan E. Aguilar, refrigeration, air conditioning, and heating service tech. Dario Gilberto Munoz, refrigeration, air conditioning, and heating service tech, scholastic honors. Kendrick Tyler, refrigeration, air conditioning, and heating service tech. Daniel Vu, refrigeration, air conditioning, and heating service tech. Michelle? Shyla Nichelle Marriott, carpentry. Clevon L. Jackson, carpentry, scholastic honors. Devin Lacey, carpentry, scholastic honors. Alexander Medasian, auto collision repair and finish technician, scholastic honors. Otis Jones, auto collision repair and finish technician. Jackson Picago, welding. Michael Herbert Rodriguez, welding, scholastic honors. Colin E. Kingju, welding. Vincent Tyrone Richardson, auto collision repair and finish technician, scholastic honors. Jose Guadalupe Medina Chavez, welding, scholastic honors. Mackay Justice Steege, landscape horticulture, scholastic honors. Christopher James Bratz, automotive technology, comprehensive, scholastic honors. Raul H. Hernandez, welding technology. Alfonso M. Ramirez, auto collision repair and finish technician, scholastic honors.
Yes, ma'am.
Montreal Hunt, architectural woodworking and cabinet making.
Sorry. Shalia Fryer.
Shalia Fryer, architectural woodworking and cabinet making. Emily Jackson, architectural woodworking and cabinet making. Manuel Alejandro Hernandez, architectural woodworking and cabinet making. Josias Pacheco, architectural woodworking and cabinet making. Vidi Diana Lopez, architectural woodworking, cabinet making, scholastic honors. Alonzo Davis, architectural woodworking, cabinet making.
Can you pronounce it as Grabenstetter? Yeah.
Stefan Nicholas Grabenstetter, landscaping, horticulture. Bryant Escoto, preparatory plumbing, scholastic honors. Leonardo Escoto, electricity. Ralph Charles Travis, power engineering and boiler operator. Julio Cesar Gaona, electricity.
Yeah, that's my
Alexander Correa, electricity. Mateo R. Carter, electricity. Connor Hale, electricity, scholastic honors. Julian Trujillo, automotive maintenance technician. Mohammed Husaifa Mohammed Ali, automotive maintenance technician. Julius McFarland, automotive maintenance technician. Jordan Berry, automotive maintenance technician. Sergio Ramos, automotive maintenance technician. Francisco Daniel San Martin, automotive maintenance technician. Jose Tepach. Josue Tepach, automotive maintenance technician. Josue Nieto Solis, automotive maintenance technician. Cheryl Reuter, aviation technician, power plant, scholastic honors. Angela Jennerjohn, aviation technician, power plant, Scholastic Honors. Desmond Richard, Aviation Technician, Airframe.
Like Jared Leto.
Okay. Matthew Thomas Leto, Automotive Maintenance Technician.
No, you can say Randy Cardona Bosque.
Okay. Randy Cardona Bosque, Automotive Maintenance Technician. Victor A. Feliciano, Automotive Maintenance Technician. Marco A. Vigil, Automotive Maintenance Technician. Saul Lur Kapa, Automotive Maintenance Technician, Scholastic Honors. Demarion Lavelle Daniels, Automotive Maintenance Technician. Edgardo Rivera Salazar. Let's do that again. Edgardo Rivera Salazar, Automotive Maintenance Technician. Tristan Daniel Sanchez, Automotive Maintenance Technician, Scholastic Honors. Tony Andre McAllister Jr., Automotive Maintenance Technician.
It's actually pronounced Braden. They got it wrong. Braden.
Kristen Joshua Braden, Automotive Maintenance Technician, Scholastic Honors. Jose A. Sanchez, Automotive Maintenance Technician. Joshua A. Lopez, Automotive Maintenance Technician, Scholastic Honors. Danielle Narcissa Clark, Landscape, Horticulture, Maintenance, and Agriculture. Thomas M. Kloiber, Preparatory Plumbing. Kenneth Thomas Garrett, Welding. Edwin Angel Gote, Welding. Aaliyah Marjorie Rose May, Welding. Rocco Peragini, Welding. Bishoman Karmacharya, Chemical Processing Technician, Scholastic Honors. We are now transitioning over to the STEM pathway, our science technician, engineering, and math. Martins, Oluwademi Lade Davies, Biomedical Electronics Technology, Scholastic Honors. Blake Arthur Grazana, Biomedical Electronics Technology. Miguel Sanchez Hernandez, Biomedical Electronics Technology. Jorge Moreno, Biomedical Electronics Technology. Jordan Lohr, Biomedical Electronics Technology.
Adam Ernest, Biomedical Electronics Technology. Aaliyah Darden, Biomedical Electronics Technology. Karen Santiago, IT, Web and Software Developer. Aveen Hassan, IT, Network Specialist, Scholastic Honors. Vian Hassan, IT, Network Specialist, Scholastic Honors. Artasia Sloan, Chemical Technician. Antonio Vang, IT Information Systems Security Specialist, Scholastic Honors. B. Lee, Electronic Engineering Technology, Scholastic Honors. Sean O'Brien, Electronic Technology, Industrial Controls, and Automation. Nuchu Vang, Electronic Technology, Industrial Controls, and Automation. Nuply Vang, Electronic Technology, Industrial Controls, and Automation. Shatang Tao, Electronic Engineering Technology. Genesis Gomez, Mechanical Design Technology, Scholastic Honors. Choi Zhang, IT Computer Support Specialist. Kenneth Hanner, IT Web and Software Developer, Scholastic Honors. Sean M. Currington, Mechanical Design Technology, Scholastic Honors. Willavante Keys, IT Network Specialist. Jonathan Gutierrez, Electronic Engineering Technology, Scholastic Honors. Derek Anthony McFarland Lee Lopez, Electronic Engineering Technology, Scholastic Honors. Alejandro Tello, Electronic Engineering Technology.
Juan Diego Mayorga Herrera.
Juan Mayorga Herrera, Electronic Engineering Technology. Daniel Jeske, Electronic Engineering Technology. Kia Feng, Mechanical Design Technology, Scholastic Honors. Jenna Van Allen, IT Network Specialist, Scholastic Honors. Tang Peng Yang, Mechanical Design Technology. Kelly Enright, IT Network Specialist, Scholastic Honors. Flora Acevedo, Quality Engineering Technology. Scott Antonio Steffen, IT Information Systems Security Specialist, Scholastic Honors. Robert Tyson Williams, Biomedical Electronics Technology, Scholastic Honors. Heath Allen Taylor, Biomedical Electronics Technology. Ryan W. Catt, Biomedical Electronics Technology, Scholastic Honors. Noah Abraham Alcorta, Civil Engineering Technology, Scholastic Honors. Lucas Ferreira da Cruz Schleck, Civil Engineering Technology, Scholastic Honors.
Angela.
Angeli Mahe, Civil Engineering Technology. Zariah Afria Nowicki, Civil Engineering Technology. Maria Paulina Biabu, Civil Engineering Technology. Natalia Castro Nebraska, IT Web and Software Developer, Scholastic Honor. Lorena Horger, IT Information System Security Specialist, Scholastic Honor. Tiffany Ann Rosetto, IT Information System Security Specialist, Scholastic Honor. Shafil Zollicoffer Deals, Architectural Technology, Scholastic Honor. Come.
Kwaku Kona.
IT Network Specialist, Scholastic Honors. Derek Devon Coleman, Mechanical Design Technology.
Kendall William Carlisle.
Mr. Kendall William Carlisle, IT Computer Support Specialist. Erica D. Moorhead, Biomedical Electronics Technology. Brian Alexi Alvarez, IT Computer Support Specialist, Scholastic Honors.
Can you say Matthew? Thank you.
Matthew Korn, IT Network Specialist, Scholastic Honors. Bartarian P. Williams, IT User Support Technician. Barbatunde Olani, IT Web and Software Developer. Jose Omar Contreras, IT Network Specialist. Prince Grayson, IT Computer Specialist. Dean Karshna, IT Network Specialist. Heidi Marie Roeder, Chemical Technician. Scott Wegman, IT Computer Support Specialist, Scholastic Honors. Ian A. Buer, IT Web and Software Developer. Chanel Spann, IT Web and Software Developer, Scholastic Honors. Itzel Martinez, IT Web and Software Developer. Nicholas Ewer, IT Network Specialist. Philip Adelon, IT Network Specialist. Saivu Lore, IT Network Specialist. Marissa Norton, Front-End Web Developer, Scholastic Honors.
And last but not least, Jasmine Miskowski, Interior Design, scholastic honors.
Will the candidates please rise? Now, by the authority vested in me by the Milwaukee Area Technical College District Board of Directors, and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon each of you the appropriate degree or diploma for which you have been certified. Graduates, you may now move the tassels of your caps from the right to the left. Congratulations to the Milwaukee Area Technical College Spring Class of 2022. To our speakers, thank you for your time and your wisdom. To our guests joining us today, thank you for all being here to mark this important moment in our graduates' lives. To our newest alumni, on behalf of the entire MATC family, we wish you success in the workforce and as lifelong learners. Congratulations. I now ask our Grand Marshal, Kevin Mulvanna, and all of our marshals to please take your positions and prepare to lead the Milwaukee Area Technical College Spring Class of 2022 from the arena. Students, please follow the marshals in order to exit the arena. Family and friends in attendance, please remain in your seats until the candidates have processed out of the arena. The Spring 2022 commencement ceremony is officially concluded. Thank you.